Guys, I cannot begin to tell you how often I get this phone call. Hello, this is Andrew. Oh yeah, all right, yeah, that's not a problem. So you're gonna be here on Friday, you said? Okay, awesome. And your timeline is about a year? Okay, yeah, that's not a problem. We do this stuff all the time. We always get these kind of calls. So let me go ahead here. I'm going to devise a plan, get this thing going here, and that way you can get to explore the area, see which part of Indian River County fits best for you, whether it's Vero Beach, Sebastian, or even Fellsmere. We're even going to have like a little magazine ready for you when you get here, okay? Awesome. Sounds like a plan. Thanks for the call. Yeah, we'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye. Now, I don't want to give you the wrong impression. I love getting these phone calls, but it got me thinking that instead of trying to think of a quick itinerary right off rip, or just sending someone a magazine about visiting Indian River County, how about I just go ahead and do the hard work for them and make a video on what I would recommend if you only had one weekend to explore Vero Beach before making the decision to move here. Let's go ahead and jump straight into it, but first, a quick overview of the area before we get started. Now, everything that I'm going to be covering in today's video will be in Vero Beach, so if you're looking into the surrounding areas, let me go ahead and give you a little bit of a breakdown of each one, starting off with Indian River County in general. So you see, Indian River County is ran like no other county I've seen in Florida, because most of Florida just goes around and welcomes growth with open arms, approving master plan communities, condo high rises to mess up everyone's view of the beach, unless of course you're one of the lucky ones to live there, a bunch of tourist traps, and a lot more. So these big metro areas may give Florida a bad rap if you visited and spent endless hours trying to find a parking spot for the beach, waiting in lines, stuck in traffic, and other things like that. And especially me after spending 8 years in Central Florida, but Indian River County is ran different because here we found this sweet spot of offering plenty of things to do without outgrowing our infrastructure, even during that peak season. It's easy to get from one end of Vero Beach to the other in about 15 minutes, and within those 15 minutes, you've got everything that you could possibly need. So let's go ahead and start with Vero Beach. So Vero is going to be the main hub of Indian River County with the majority of culture, activities, things to do, restaurants, and beach space when compared to other parts of the county. We've got a historic central downtown with tons of coffee shops, boutiques, breakfast and lunch spots, steakhouses, Irish pubs, and a lot more stretching down that 14th Avenue. And that is just one part. We've also got Ocean Drive with the same idea. The restaurants, bars, shops, ice cream joints, and a ton more, all while being right there on non-crowded beaches with plenty of space to choose from and park for free. That's right, no parking garage or tolls here, just regular old parking spots that you can just park and go and not worry about anything. And we've got the Vero Beach West Corridor with the mall, outlets, and other major stores all in one central location. And finally, dozens of scattered plazas throughout the city, such as the Miracle Mile Plaza with things like Fresh Market, dive shops, TJ Maxx, Panera Bread, Publix, banks, and a lot more, all surrounded by a beautiful and highly desirable residential area called Royal Park. Now moving on to our next big city, which is Sebastian. Now Sebastian is mostly made up of residential only area called the Sebastian Highlands, but it has a lot of the conveniences that there as well. But my favorite comparison is Margaritaville lifestyle. So this is where you go to hit the pause button, enjoy some nice live music by the water, and cruise on your boat or motorcycle every weekend and just hit the off switch for a while. Now, if you did want to go ahead and join the normal hustle and bustle, Vero Beach is just 15 minutes south. But this is really just the place to relax with a cold one in your hand and soak up the rays and the music. And finally, last town in Indian River County is a rural place called Fellsmere. Excuse the way I say rural, I have a hard time with that one. But this is where you want to live if you want to be driving distance to a place with plenty to do, but want plenty of acreage, do some bass fishing or crappie fishing on Blue Cypress Lake, and just listen to the crickets chirping every night before going to bed. This is old Florida at its finest, and amenities are sparse, but like I said, you're only 20 minutes or so from bigger civilization like Sebastian or Vero, where you could just grab what you need, staying as long as you like, and then go back home when you're ready. All right, so now let's go ahead and talk about where to stay, because there's a ton of options out there. So I'll give you 3 plus a bonus if you're traveling with kids. So first part will be if you want to stay on the island, because this is the main reason a lot of people want to move here, so why not stay here? Now, if you love history and don't mind putting aside all the frills of a luxury stay, then I'd recommend checking out the hotel right behind me called the historic Driftwood Hotel. This hotel was built back in 1935 with nothing laid in square and filled to the brim with historic nautical knickknacks that history buffs will come to love. It's got a nice old school bar and restaurant downstairs, and of course sits on our gorgeous beach with plenty of scenery to check out while you're here. This is where you go ahead and grab a beer, listen to some live music in your flip-flops, and hear all the fishing stories all night as the sun sets. The next recommendation I want to say is the polar opposite of the Driftwood, but it sits right next to it, called the Costa de Esta Hotel, owned by Gloria Estefan. And the main reason I say it's the polar opposite is because it's got all the frills, such as fine dining downstairs with a view of the beach, a spa for a beachside massage or facial, and a nice pool with a hot tub with a cabana-style bar downstairs that can make your favorite cocktails, and they even host weddings over there. So now, the bonus hotel that we're talking about is the Disney Hotel. This, of course, if you're traveling with family or you actually plan on making a trip to Disney while you're here, which is only an hour and a half away. So it could be the perfect option to go ahead and knock out two birds with one stone. And now, last but not least, is the hotel recommendation if you don't care about being on the beach or wanted to stay on the mainland and save some cash. And that's the Spring Hill Suites by Marriott. This hotel is still near the lagoon on Any River Boulevard next to Grand Harbor, so it's a great area without those beach price tags. Alrighty guys, so enough of that. It's time to go ahead and get this weekend started. And there's no better way to kick off a morning than some coffee and breakfast right on Ocean Drive. So my first recommended stop of the day is to go ahead and try the locally owned Lemon Tree Cafe, where you can start off the day by getting to know your new beach and enjoying a great breakfast while you do it. So they've got great traditional American and light dishes to choose from while being in the heart of everything that you need to see on your first day in Vero Beach, if of course spending it on the island was part of the plan. Plus, we're dining where the locals eat, not some tourist trap, so you can really get a feel for how the residents live right off the bat. Next up, as we move into our mid-morning, it's time to explore the beach, and maybe if you're up to it, do some water activities. So Paddles by the Sea is our good friends, and you can literally book anything with them. Want to have a lazy day with a chair and umbrella? You can have them set it up for you on the beach and lay out in the sun all morning and enjoy the waves. If you're like me and want to be a little bit more active, they have kayak rentals, paddleboard rentals, and even boat rentals that you can take advantage of and spend your day out getting to know the water sports and activities in your new area, all without any hassle on your part. And if blowing money isn't your thing, then you could just go ahead and take advantage of one of our public beaches, and JC Park is one that I really recommend going to. This one has endless parking up and down the beach with long boardwalks that you can walk with a view, and also some covered picnic areas that you can sit at with friends and family, all while enjoying a day outside in Florida. All right, so now for lunch, since you're gonna be nearby JC Beach, no matter which beach activity that you choose, I recommend checking out the Seaside Grill. This is a little cabana lunch spot right on the ocean that was open for a long time, closed down, and then reopened recently with new owners. The bites here are inexpensive, great tasting, and just walking distance from where you're gonna be spending your time today. Now guys, I can get myself into pretty big significant trouble with the missus with two things that I love: luxury timepieces and historic shipwreck coins. I don't know what it is, but just something is so cool to me that hundreds of years ago, someone stamped this coin, loaded it onto a boat, which was then sunken by a hurricane out here. Then now hundreds of years later, I can wear it around my neck. And that's just crazy to me. And if you're gonna go ahead and make the move to the Treasure Coast, you may wanna learn a little bit about the history here as well. So my afternoon activity for you would be to go just right up the road to the McLarty Treasure Museum and see exactly where the shipwreck survivors set up camp and learn all about the hardships that they had to face with different pirates, quarrels with the Native Americans, and a lot more after that hurricane sunk 11 ships full of treasure right out here. And I don't know, it may sound lame to you, but to me, this is a must-see while you're here. And guys, last but not least, if you're up to it, in the evening, you've got to go ahead and check out the nightlife in Vero Beach. This is where you can meet the local residents, understand the vibe of the area a little bit, and just overall have a good time. So for this, I'd either say to go to Grind and Grape, located right there in Central Beach, where they have live music, plenty of indoor and outdoor space, or Solmar, where there's a bit more of a younger crowd that goes, but it can get pretty crowded at times if you go at the wrong time. So you can honestly go to both with one night, because since they're just walking distance from each other, And then you can just go ahead and pick your poison, as they say, until it's time to go ahead back home and crash at the hotel. All right, guys, now it's time to start day number 2, and hopefully you don't have a hangover going into it, because I need you to be alive and well to really get to know the mainland today. So first of all, I'd recommend grabbing a coffee and breakfast right next to our office in this little breakfast and lunch Italian place called Bocce. They have great food here, and while sitting outside, you get to see the downtown vibe of Vero Beach while enjoying a great meal. And if you're up to it, come over and say hi to us over at the office next door. And after breakfast, why don't you just take a little time for yourself? And this is where you should just drive around, get to know the area, and go places like all the shops around the main part of Vero Beach. This could be the Miracle Mile Plaza, the Vero West Corridor, where the mall is and all the outlets with tons of shopping all around, or even get out and explore different residential neighborhoods. If you like the older neighborhoods with lots of landscaping, then take some time to explore McCanch Park and Royal Park, where the homes have been there since the 50s and have kept up very, very nicely. You can also spend some more time on the downtown strip, or even Ocean Drive again if you didn't get your fill, or possibly check out the surrounding areas around Vero Beach like Sebastian or Fellsmere. All right, now once the lunchtime rolls around, there's no better spot on the mainland than visiting American Icon Brewery, where you can have lunch and a beer in a newly renovated historic diesel power plant built in the 1920s. They've got insanely good burgers and beer, all while enjoying the scenery and getting to know your town a little bit better. And they've even kept one of the big diesel generators there and built the bar around it, which makes a great centerpiece for the restaurant. And then once you finish up lunch, why don't you go ahead and give us a call? We have a team that is ready to go and help you out during your visit. And if you're a ways out and interested in new construction, we can still go with you to visit the new construction communities just so you can get to know them a little bit better. And this is really if you were a year or less away from purchasing, because some communities may be completely sold out if you're looking outside of that time frame. This is because most communities only build 100 to 200 homes or so per community, and they sell out very quickly. But if you do fall in that timeline, you could reach out to us using the information right here on the screen by either giving us a call, a text, or an email. But please make sure to just let us know in advance before your visit, because we do book up pretty quickly. We have connections with all the local experts, whether you're in the market for a new construction home or a resale, and we'll have your back when moving to the Florida East Coast. All right, now that we've gone ahead and wrapped up day 2, we've seen everything that you can pack into one day, and it's time to have dinner at one of my personal favorites. So my buddy Matt got me a job working at Chez Frenchies when I was about 18 years old, and I really got to know the family during my time working there. They have excellent food, which is a mix of French and Italian cuisine, an awesome location, and great people, so you will not be let down when you go there. And again, if you're up for exploring more of the nightlife here, I'd end the night with a little trip to Riverside Cafe right on the river. This is a great lunch hangout spot during the day, and at night the locals come out to share some good fishing stories, let loose after a hard week's work, and then enjoy a local favorite with inexpensive beer or at a cocktail, because this is just kind of like a dive bar location for the locals, and I think you're gonna really enjoy that. So guys, there really is nothing like Indian River County in all of Florida. We do things differently around here, all while staying in a convenient spot if you really wanted the itch to go out and explore the bigger cities. So Tampa's just right across State Road 60, Orlando's an hour and a half northwest, and Miami's just south of 95. But I'm telling you, the longer you spend here, the more you will grow to love it and continue finding those hidden gems scattered throughout the entire county. And if you wanted a copy of the Indian River magazine that I used to make this guide, go ahead and write a comment down below, and I'll go ahead and send you a digital copy of the magazine that goes over everything that you need to know, written by the Indian River County Chamber of Commerce, and can be a great resource for you to get to know your new city. Thank you again, guys, and don't forget to call before you visit, and I'll see you all on the next video.